Okay, you're ready. You take out your notebook and stationery ready for a productive study session. You sit on your desk determined to make this the most productive study guide in the history of study guides. But you're faced with a challenge. Every topic, subject, textbook, notebook, study guide you open seems so difficult, so in the end, you give up. Well, dear viewers, what if I told you there's something you can do to hack your brain to crave doing hard things? Yep, sounds like BS, but it's not. In this episode of Study Diaries, I'll be breaking down 2 stages that will help you get started on those hard subjects or even any goals you've been putting off because it's too hard. Without further ado, let's start this video. Starting with the first stage, which I like to call the preparation stage. Before you can tackle hard things, you need to prepare your mind and body for the challenge. This stage consists of 3 key steps. Step 1, which is to wake up. For many of us, comfort has become our biggest enemy. We are so used to convenience and leisure that stepping out of our routine feels impossible. But here's the truth. If you want to change, you have to wake up and take action. Let this video be your wake-up call. The first step is to make the decision to stop procrastinating and start moving. It won't be easy, but nothing we're doing ever is. Step 2. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Change is hard, and I tell you, it's so hard that sometimes you just want to give up. But that's where the growth happens. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. If you want to rewire your brain for success, you need to embrace discomfort. Think about the first time you tried something new, maybe learning a skill, waking up early, or exercising. It felt uncomfortable at first, right? But over time, it became easier. The key is to push through that initial resistance and keep going. Trust me, you're not gonna regret this. Now, step 3. Figure out your why. Motivation fades, but purpose lasts. If you don't have a strong reason for doing something, well, you're probably not supposed to do that thing. When you don't have a purpose, what ends up happening is that you fall back into old habits. So ask yourself, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to study so hard? Why do I want good grades? What's the point of doing this subject? Why do I want to pass? Why do I want to get better at sports? Why do I want to ask that girl out? Why do I want to ask that boy out? Why do I want to write this? Knowing the reason you're doing anything will help you improve over time. And it also helps you to build discipline and achieve your goal. Your why needs to be stronger than your excuses. Write it down, remind yourself of it daily, and let it fuel your actions. With these 3 steps, you're now ready to move into the next stage, which is the dopamine management. Before we dive into what the dopamine management stage is all about, we first need to understand what dopamine is. Dopamine is the brain reward chemical. It makes you feel good, but when it's mismanaged, it can become a major obstacle to productivity and discipline. This stage consists of 5 key steps to help you regulate your dopamine for success. Step 1. Understand dopamine. So, dopamine is a neurotransmitter that signals pleasure and motivation in your brain. It's what makes you feel excited when you eat your favorite food, scroll on social media, or win a video game. But here's the problem. Too much dopamine from the wrong sources makes it hard to focus and do difficult tasks. Instead of chasing quick dopamine hits, we need to retrain our brain to find joy in productive activities. This could be anything like studying, going to the gym, exercising, waking up early, or any of these tedious tasks that we just want to put off. Or it could also just be cooking every single day. These tasks just take up too much time that we do not actually feel the dopamine or excitement hit immediately, which causes us to put them off. Now, moving on to step 2, become aware of your dopamine sources. Before you can fix a problem, you need to identify it. Ask yourself, where do I spend most of my time? Is it scrolling on social media? Or is it reading a book, scrolling in a park? Whatever it is, name it. The next question is to ask yourself, what activities give me instant gratification but leave me feeling unproductive? For me, normally when I doom scroll on social media, I feel joy, I feel excitement in the moment, but after hours have passed, I start to feel like, where did my time go? I feel unproductive. I feel like I didn't do anything. I feel like my mind is overwhelmed. So if that's you, that's probably the activity that gives you the instant gratification but leaves you feeling really crappy at the end. The next question, how much time do I spend on social media, gaming, or binge watching? This is very crucial to identify the gaps in your time. This will help you see where most of your time is being spent and what you can do to fill that time with more productive activities. Tracking your habits for a day can be eye-opening. Once you're aware of where your dopamine is going, you can start making changes. Moving on to step 3, eliminate distraction. If you're constantly distracted by quick dopamine sources, it's hard to focus on important tasks. The solution, cut out or limit distraction. For example, you can try reducing your screen time, turn off notification while working, set specific hours for entertainment. That way you don't just spend hours and hours scrolling. At first, you would experience some withdrawal symptoms. Your brain craves easy dopamine, but over time, you'll find more satisfaction in meaningful work. Step 4. Time your dopamine peaks. Dopamine levels are naturally higher in the morning, which means your brain is most alert and focused after waking up. This is why you should tackle the hardest task first, a technique known as eating the frog, instead of wasting your most precious productive hours on low-value activities. Use them to make a real progress. For example, if you know that the subject that you struggle the most is physics, you'd rather do it in the morning where your mind is alert and productive instead of doing it in the night where you feel totally drained and tired. That's what I would normally do when I'm studying, and I find that it works. The next step is to reward yourself and recover. Balance is key. You can't just push yourself without breaks, otherwise you'll burn out. The best way to stay consistent is to reward yourself after completing a hard task. This could be as simple as taking a walk, watching an episode of your favorite show, enjoying a snack. Recovery days are just as important. Rest helps your brain reset, making it easier to stay disciplined in the long run. Well, dear viewers, hacking your brain isn't about forcing yourself to work harder. It's about training it to work smarter, by preparing your mind and understanding your dopamine system and making intentional changes. You can push through challenges and achieve your goals. Now it's time to take action. Which step are you going to start with today? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, do check out this video on the screen on how to memorize anything you study longer. With that said, I will see you there. Goodbye and take care.